What do you want to do tonight?
The same thing we do every night, Pinky. Try to take over the world.
I'm in the trenches of hood, riding past, sparking J's, I feel good. You can catch me on the back roads, where I'm chilling in the Ville, banging hit while riding, displaying my verbal skills. Yes, to be the big league, knocking down big trees at the same time. Fresh zits, fully clean, cooling with my lady. We be low key when it's sunny, but we work out when it's shady. I reside in county with my peoples all around me. This is street, this be the hood. This is good, fellas, music. I can show you how to do this. Yeah, y'all got it with the live, but me, I really be outside. I'm seeing vibe. I stay close around my tribe. I got the Phoenix on my hip and my twin be by my side. I'm so pinpoint on my aim. I'll target while I'm blind. If you really wanna see me, doors open, come inside. It's the lines, then watch your step, cause we deep within me. I take your vision, thought then bleed it through a pen. Yeah, let's get it, let's go. We all in this right here. Be the record, be the anthem that you gotta spin to the second eye. Had to take a pause for the cuz me, I let my nuts hang. Y'all dudes need to throw some balls. Yes, I'm back, you owe on me. BD know I'm standing tall. If you ever wanna know, this is how we ball, roll call. Shout to my peoples in the city and county dudes. That's be hunters on your head, we about it. I'm the cucker, pick her up or in the woods. Camping out is where you find me.
Wish me to die, so I keep my eye to the sky. But my eyes on the streets. I've been through valley of the shadows holding heat. Don't you dare think it's sweet. Lest we creeped in, jump all out. Mission, done through all the nation, yeah, let's keep it hype, keep lit. I stay Roman pistol grip, let's take a trip, let's go dip. See a world from the mind's cliff I'm hanging on while doing spin things. While moving on, I'm still here, I'm still kicking. Even when they count me out, I still got with them. We sparked the cool, we think the plan now, we taking over, and yes, it's over. I'm still clean, but not sober. Been through the mud like a Range Rover. I still create, but I stay humble, just from above until my life is over.
Hold up, yeah, hold up, hold up, hold up. We ain't finished. We still on 10 and handle business. We be real as shot collars in the building. Yes, we stay lit. We go against go, 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 go. Hold up, we ain't with it. Let's just bring it back. We flown, yes. Rockin', keep it going on the track, and on the track, and on the track. Yeah, yeah. Hold up. Many wish me to die. Yeah. So I keep my eye to the sky. But my eyes on the streets. I've been through valley of the shadows, holding heat.
Don't you dare think it's sweet. Yes, we creeped and jump all out. Mission done through all the nation. Yeah, let's keep it hype, keep lit. I stay roaming, they through pistol grip. Let's take a trip. Let's go dip and see a world from the mind's cliff. I'm hanging on while doing some big things while moving on. I'm still here, I'm still kicking even when they count me out. I still got with them, we sparked to cool. We think the plan, now we taking over. And yes, it's over. I'm still clean but not sober. Been through the mud like a Range Rover. I still create but I stay humble, cause it's from above until my life is over. Life is over.
How y'all feeling? Respect. Welcome back to another episode of Smitty's Corner, aka Lighthouse _ 301. Let's get it. Most of you guys are going to go ahead and catch the replay. I think you're going to be very satisfied with the replay. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to do the real history. We're going to actually go through, because today is about 420, right? So instead of just coming up here and having a J and just talking about random stuff, I figured, why not come up here and let's break down all of the things that we don't know about this wonderful plant that we all love to smoke, or at least should I say most of us. And with that being said, I digress. My mic is muted. The time right now is 10:15 p.m. East Coast Standard Time. Nancy, before you hit the theme song, would you be so kind as to pull that video up that I have? That's right. So what we're going to do, ladies and gentlemen, Nancy, are you there? She's there. Okay, cool. Thank you, Nancy. I appreciate it. So let's go ahead and pull up this video, right? Bow. We're going to get it kicked off. Listen, it's 420. Let's have some fun. You know the number one thing that also comes with 420? Food. That's right. Food comes into 420. So what better way to start this off than a munchie battle war? That's right. We're going to go inside the fridge and we're going to go ahead and have ourselves a real good time briefly. Then we're going to go ahead and educate ourselves and continue to have a good time. And with that being said, I digress. My mic is muted. I ain't even going to hold you. This right here is ketchup versus mustard.
Welcome to the Rap Off Battle League, and I'm your host, the kid who always gets it cracking, whether cooling in the fridge or up in the mix in your kitchen cabinet. Your player partner, Baking Soda. We got a crazy flavor clash today between two of the sauciest condiments in history. On my left-hand side, I'm in the refrigerator! Ooh, and on my right-hand side, player partner, who is you? It's your boy, Mustard. You must heard what it is. French's gang. Free my man Butter doing life in the box. Let's go. Yo, in hindsight, Mustard.
Hold on. Why was the butter in the box? I'm sorry.
Hindsight, Mustard has an ugly color. I'll take Mustard's musty mother and uppercut her through the upper cupboard. I'll run your cousin and your brother through the onion cutter. You belong in the dessert section next to the fluffy custard because you're sweet as honey mustard. Look at Dijon and horseradish looking like Dumb and Dumber. You guys probably f*** each other. And since you run with butter, my toast will never jam like your buddy Smucker. Everybody, yo, get holes in your leather jacket. Get the ratchet. Something squirting if I see ketchup packet and rip his top open like a ketchup packet. You be with the French fries, tater tots. I be on sandwiches in the spread. Translation, you small potatoes, and I'm out here getting to the bread. Yo, that shit was fucking ass. Straight up mustard gas. Yo, I'm seeing tons of cash. Ask lettuce. I'm getting green like the Hulk. See, I'm a seasoned veteran in here. You seasoned with salt. Don't think that I won't swing. Even the eggs in here came to see you get yolked. So you better try to concentrate like orange juice. Why's that? Cause you about to get beat to a pulp. You used to be that guy. Now Sriracha the one. I try to coach ketchup. Cause I got the sauce in these buns. Quit banging with Prego. Reppin' pasta. That'll get you shot in the slums. Hey, yo, tomato. Yes, sir. That's how you talk to your son. And there it is.
Oh, man. All right, y'all. Let's go ahead. Let's get to it. Let's go ahead and rock out. Let's do this bad boy, right? What I want to do is I want to rewind and make sure, was I being heard? Hold on 1 second. Yep. Okay. All right. We good to go. Y'all ready? So now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and get into the true history of 420. All right. So let's go ahead and do that. Nancy, if you would be so kind as to hit the theme music, please, for me. Thank you, Nancy. I appreciate it. All right, now. So let's go ahead and let's do this, people. Bow. Bow. All right, let's go ahead and get to it. You know, a lot of us will sit up here and we'll say, yeah, man, it's 420. It's 420. All right, cool. Cool. Do any of you all know the history of it? Do you know how it started? You know something? I didn't know how it started. So let's go ahead, and the first subject that we're going to do is, so we have, let me see real quick. Let me just go ahead and go down my list because I have everything right here printed out. So we have the roots of 420. Okay. All right. So let's start off with the roots of 420. Nancy, if you would be so kind and pull the screen up. Thank you very much. I appreciate you. Now let's go ahead and let's start off with the founding fathers of 420. How did all of this begin? I digress. My mic is muted. The time right now is 10:20 p.m. East Coast Standard Time. Let's rock out.
A lot of things to different people, but broadly speaking, 420 is the unofficial holiday for cannabis. It's also the biggest sales event of the year. The most widely accepted origin story of 420 has its start in 1971 at San Rafael High School in Marin County, California.
We've been friends for over 50 years, and we used to sit on a wall at San Rafael High School in the middle of the campus, and we'd watch people going by and do impressions.
Why does he sound like the best friend from Half Baked with Dave Chappelle? I swear his face, everything, he sounds like him in real life.
Of them and make jokes and try to make each other's laugh. And that's how we became the Waldos, from sitting on the wall.
One day, a friend of a friend brought them a hand-drawn map and said, hey, my brother is a Coast Guard, and he planted some weed plants.
And he said that these guys were growing marijuana. For some reason, they thought that their commanding officer was going to bust them, and they didn't want to get busted. So they decided to abandon this growing project. They said, we could pick it. They said that the Coast Guardsman grew a map of where it was, and he had the map. He showed me the map, and we decided, hey, let's go pick it.
We all looked at it, and he told us what the story was, and all of us were going to get together, meet at 420, and search for these hidden plants.
They set the time at 4:20 p.m. They would meet at this statue and on campus, light a joint, jump in the car, and go, on an adventure trying to look for these plants. So it went on for several weeks, and they never found him. But they did coin the term 420.
We could say 420 is our secret code in front of our parents, cops.
He didn't smoke so much. He permanently cannot open his eyes. Them Jones is forever shut.
Teachers, everybody. And nobody knew what it was, and it was our little private joke.
And it spread to the wider circle of friends that we had. It spread to our younger brothers. It spread to their classmates. So it started going from class to class to class. It started going through generation. You go to college, and your college buddies, they pick it up, and they're from all over the United States.
My brother Patrick was good friends with Phil Lesh, the bassist from the Grateful Dead, for 50 years. Now, Phil asked my brother Pat if he'd like to manage a couple of side bands while their Dead were taking some time off. So I worked with them, touring around California, doing shows, and I was backstage smoking with Phil Lesh and guys like David Crosby and Terry Haggerty and a host of other musicians. And Patrick, my brother, and I were spreading 420 backstage, and then it kind of filtered through the roadies and the people that were hanging out, and that spread throughout the Dead community.
You know what's wild? Me, myself, I've always wondered, and now I'm not going to say all, most artists can get with where I'm coming from when I say this. It is something about just this uncanny connection between marijuana and creating with art. There are some people who would argue and say, nah, it dumbs your brain down. And listen, Some of the greatest pieces I've ever drawn and written, I was hired in Cootie Brown. A lot of these artists that we hear, a lot of these songs that were so profound, so smack on point with it, right? These people did that generally higher than Cootie Brown off of something. Now I'm just going to stick with the weed, the 420. A lot has been done when it comes to that. It's crazy. Let's keep on listening. Let's go.
And after that, the entire world.
You know, with the proliferation of state legalization, I feel like we forget that, like, in the 90s, marijuana was not okay. Really, the term 420 is a vestige of the past, like of drug suppression.
I remember personally, I was one of those people where I have quite a few charges, and my charge was just simply I just got caught with weed. That's it. Nothing else. I wasn't doing anything. It was like just a chance. It was just a by chance. I'm sitting at the park, I'm smoking or something. Officer pulls up. God dang it. I try to pull it out. He can smell it in the air. This is back, like he said, in the 90s when it was illegal, right? Even in the early 20s, even in the early 2000s, should I say. Because I remember specifically, at least in my state, when it finally became legal was right when I went to prison. It was like 2012 or so. Marijuana we finally legalized it. And I'll say around 2015 or so, we finally got dispensaries. Let's go ahead and go.
You know, anti-drug PSAs. Perhaps the biggest irony of this whole cultural phenomenon is that what started as a joke between a couple of Stones teenagers has blossomed into the biggest sales event of the industry. This year, the legal cannabis industry, which is across 17 states for adult use and over 30 states for medical, is going to bring in $20 billion in sales. What's special this year is that it's the 50th.
And you wonder why it's illegal? See, the thing is, it had nothing to do with it being illegal because it was such a horrible drug. They got prescribed medications that are worse. Don't get me started, right? We all know this if you're tapped in. The thing about it is that, listen to what they said. This is going to bring in billions. Now, mind you, that's just that day. That don't have nothing to do with the rest of the daggone year. Throughout the whole rest of the year, there's endless money that is coming in. Crazy, right? So the reason why, for the longest time, for those who may not be hip, it was illegal before, is because the government was trying to figure out a way to taxate it. That's it. They just couldn't get their hands on it. You're not about to make all of this money and we can't get a piece of it. Had nothing to do with anything else. Because if that was the case, alcohol would still be illegal. Now, they did have the prohibition era, right? But that died out. Alcohol became legal. Alcohol was legal long. You got all these people passing away from drunk driving and everything else. But for some reason, marijuana is still illegal. Usually when you get high, you don't even want to drive. Usually when you get high, you don't want to get up off the couch. So doing violent stuff generally does not correlate with people who usually like to smoke pot. Let's keep on rocking out. And yes, that's what it used to be called before it was good gas. It was called pot, reefers, right? Reefers.
Anniversary of the Waldo's coining the term 420. And there's only 3 states that have not amended their marijuana laws. So when you think about it on that level, the tipping point is here. The latest Gallup poll put it at 68% of Americans want marijuana to be legal, or at least feel that it should be legal. In the 70s, that same stat was like, around 15%.
It's been 50 years of the creation of 420, but it's been over 50 years of our friendship. And that's the most important thing that we have going here, is that we're still all alive and pretty much healthy, and we're still friends. We want to celebrate our friendship and the spirit of 420 of friendship, humor, and kindness.
Okay. So that's the start. That's the beginning of 420. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead, right? And I like that right there. Because see, the thing is, we need to learn, where does all of this start? So apparently it started from like 5 hippie white boys. Let me see. Let me count. Yep. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep. 5 hippie white boys in California somewhere. So let's go ahead and let's move it forward. Now, what is our next topic, right? Now, the next topic is smoking marijuana as opposed to eating it on this lovely 420 day. Which do you prefer? Why don't you tell me, which do you prefer? Do you prefer to smoke it, or do you prefer to, you know what I'm saying, eat it? Some people prefer to eat it because they don't want to smell like smoke. Some people prefer to smoke it because of the high. Now we're going to move to the next stage. Let's see, what is it like when you smoke it, right, as opposed to eat it. And with that being said, I digress. My mic is muted. The time right now is 10:30 p.m. East Coast Standard Time. I thank you all for taking the time to watch. Let's go ahead and have us an awesome 420. Let's really learn about this, right? Let's really see what 420 is about. Definitely. Always keep in mind that it does hit people, and it varies from person to person. Now let's go ahead and listen to this. So from what it is that I've learned throughout my years of cannabis use is that when you eat it, it's a longer lasting effect. And when it finally hits you full effect, if you have enough that you've eaten, it's in full force. But it takes longer. It's like an acceleration. It doesn't come off the line like a stick shift. When you smoke it, that's when you feel it immediately. And they say typically the high does not last as long as one when you eat it and you consume it, because it's in your bloodstream, right? Let's go ahead, rock out. Tetrahydrocannabinol. Let's remember that. Tetrahydrocannabinol. That's what THC means. All these time we've been saying it. Do you know it was tetrahydro? That's a fact. It's a slower hit. You're gonna eat it. You're gonna think, oh, this don't work. Give it a while. Just give it a moment. Absolutely. You be eating way too much, and you be thinking that because it ain't kicking in, it's not hitting how a J would. Yep, that is absolute facts. Keep on rocking out, Mr. Narrator. You watch this video because, you know, I'm one of them. I came up around a bunch of like scientifical white boys when it came to like drugs. I know some white boys, man, who just know about growing stuff, how to make this right chemical for this. And yeah, I kind of have that background. So I learned a lot. Now, the thing about that is that some people, look, let me just tell you, like the vets of this don't want a full stomach because it's going to dilute it. It's kind of like alcohol, but not really. I would say for alcohol, you definitely want to make sure you put some food on your stomach, especially if it's like a New Year's Eve type of thing you're going to be consuming in, or a birthday, what have you. You know, one of those activities, you know, you're going to be getting it in. Definitely consume food. On this one right here, just to let you know, yeah, food consumption is going to dilute the high. It's going to basically water it down. All right. Now, I like that one right there. That was, I actually learned a little something too myself. Let's keep on rocking out. Now, just like I said, we're going to go down the list, right? So we already started off with the 420 roots. Now, then we got to smoking weed versus eating it, right? So the next category that we have is the actual health benefits of marijuana. You know, because for a long time it was considered to be illegal because they just did not want to recognize what all of the health benefits were. So now let's go ahead and take time and look at that. And with that being said, I digress. My mic is muted. The time right now is 10:41 p.m. East Coast Standard Time. I thank you so much for tuning in. If you're not watching now, go ahead and make sure you check the replay And don't forget that the merch is coming soon. So let's go ahead and check out this video. Nancy, if you would be oh so kind and share the screen. Thank you, Nancy. Let's go ahead and rock out.
Department of Health be granted such a patent if, again, there's no medical benefits? Very good question. Today, we're going to talk about the medical benefits of cannabis use. So what are the medical benefits? Why can't medical experts and researchers study it more? And did you know it was once legal? So many questions concerning this hot button issue, and I'm going to go over all of that, plus clear up some other myths about cannabis.
Actually, no. I didn't know that it was once legal before it being legalized now.
Hey everyone, I'm Dr. Wagner. I'm a board-certified emergency medicine physician, and on my show, I answer your urgent medical questions and clear up myths about certain ailments. For years, people have allegedly been using cannabis to help treat their medical ailments, and yet for years, the government has classified it as a Schedule I drug, meaning it has no medical benefits.
Yep.
Despite that, researchers have shown documented benefits by using cannabis for various ailments, as well as there are a load of anecdotal evidence with patients having positive results and finding relief with using medical cannabis. So why is there still so much red tape?
And you know something that's crazy about that Schedule 1? Let me help y'all out on something, right? The Schedule 1, meaning no health benefits. So that's why for the longest they say it was illegal. Well, the truth is, no, it's because they had to figure out a way to make money off of it. How can they get their hands on what you can grow? No problem, because it once had seeds. Notice nowadays when you go to dispensaries and stuff, there's no seeds in anything. Oh, they make sure of that. They don't want you to grow your own. They want you to get it from them. Just like it's no seeds inside of fruits and vegetables no more now, right? All right. When it was illegal, they were trying to figure out a way how possibly can we taxate it. Now, let's go ahead and let's listen a little bit further of what he was saying, right? Because what I want to do is I want to go back just a little bit because I want to hear what he said. Let's listen to that again.
Despite that, researchers have shown documented benefits by using cannabis for various ailments, as well as there are a load of anecdotal evidence with patients having positive results and finding relief with using medical cannabis. So why is there still so much red tape? In recent years, researchers have discovered that similar to the pulmonary and/or nervous system, our bodies have an endocannabinoid system. The endocannabinoid system is a biological system composed of endocannabinoids, which are endogenous lipid-based retrograde neurotransmitters that bind to cannabinoid receptors and cannabinoid receptor proteins in the nervous system, including the brain as well as the peripheral nervous system. In other words, although it remains under preliminary research, the endocannabinoid system is a body system that may be involved in regulating physiological and cognitive processes, including fertility, pregnancy, during pre- and postnatal development, appetite, pain sensation, mood, memory, and more.
Not to mention, back in the day, there was an old saying that said, smoking weed kills your brain cells. No. This is a brain cell. It's floating around in your head. This is the smoke of weed coming to the brain cells. It doesn't kill them. It covers. Now, how you kill it is if you just continue, throughout the entire day. Yes, you can actually kill your brain cells. Yes, you can, if you want some Cheech and Chong's type stuff. But if you want that just like real quick, all right, now let me go do what I gotta do. You put it out, you go do your thing. If y'all notice, even with me, I take my puffs, but I always keep putting it out. I'll take about 2-3 puffs, put it down. What it does is it covers, and then it releases. So it doesn't actually kill brain cells. Let's go.
You hear them most often referred to as the CB1 and the CB2 receptor. Interestingly, the cannabis plant contains more than 100 different cannabinoids or chemical compounds that on a molecular level bind to our CB1 and CB2 receptors. For instance, if you look at anandamide, a molecule that our own body creates naturally, and compare it to THC, they are nearly identical on a molecular level. So why would a plant that our government labels as having no alleged medical benefits contain cannabinoids that mimics what our own body creates? And why would these cannabinoids bind so perfectly to our healthy regulatory system in our brain and body? Although we don't have all the answers, some researchers out there believe it's for our own medical benefit. The history of medical benefits. Let's take a trip down memory lane long before it was labeled as a Schedule I substance, meaning, again, has no medical benefits.
Now, with the no medical benefits, what's crazy is this. They've said for the longest, marijuana is a Schedule I, has no medical benefits. Cocaine, not crack, cocaine was not scheduled as a schedule. I mean, it was not deemed as a Schedule I drug. Reason being, you know why? Because they actually use cocaine in products. Coca-Cola. You see? Believe it or not, majority of the ingredients in Viagra, man, that ain't nothing but a cocaine pill. Don't get it twisted. It's coke. Got some other stuff in it. Yeah. You know, they morphed it, but it's cocaine, because anybody who knows about that life knows that's a horny drug. That's why people in Hollywood love it. It doesn't just keep you up, it keeps you up and stuck. Let's go.
We travel all the way back in time to 1937. Cannabis was legal and used quite regularly as medicine by physicians to treat.
Oh, sorry. And I meant to say this real quick. And also, too, another reason bring cocaine. It's a lot easier to buy a 50 bag, a half an ounce of weed, and then go ahead, take them seeds out, and then go ahead and plant and get your own. You see? So it's so many different variables that come into play as to why they don't want you to grow your own. Again, just as much as you don't see seeds in a lot of fruits nowadays, they just don't want you to grow your own. And they try to make you think it's because, no, it's more convenient and it tastes sweeter. No, they don't want you to grow your own. They want you to keep coming back to them. They want to take what's a natural resource and they want to have their hands dipped into the cookie jar.
Any different ailments. In fact, before 1937, you could head to your local Rite Aid or CVS equivalent and purchase it as you would many other over-the-counter prescriptions today. But then it all changed. Historians trace back the growing thoughts against cannabis to 1937. At that time, there was a rival battle between the competing lumber industries of the time and the hemp or industrial fiber version of cannabis that can be used similarly to lumber for papers, ropes, etc., but to take far less time to grow. Many of the lumber-owned companies also owned some of the major newspapers of the time. As their disdain for the competing hemp industries grew, many of these lumber-owned newspaper companies started printing salacious articles against all forms of the cannabis plant. Then, in 1937, the hammer came down and the Marijuana Act of 1937 occurred, which put a high tax on the sale of cannabis. Some parties have argued that the aim of the tax was to reduce the size of the hemp industry. As time had gone on, more and more regulations have been placed on cannabis, and cannabis was officially outlawed for any use, medically included, with the passage of the 1970 Controlled Substance Act. But now, some 50 years later, more and more are we seeing laws becoming more lax on the use of cannabis, and is now once again legal for medicinal use in 33 states and legal for recreational use in 11 states. So why is it taking so?
Wow. It's only 11 for, like, we one of them out here in Maryland. That Smoking weed's like smoking a cigarette now. The only thing is that, you know, people still uphold, or at least we try to, like, you know, some form of, like, you know, police will tell you, like, if you at the park and there's kids, older people, families walking by, like, yo, can you take that somewhere else? Take that in the house. But that's about it. That's about it. It's like having a cigarette. Actually, you get in less trouble for weed than you do alcohol. Matter of fact, let me give you this other fact. Anything under 28 grams. Now, 28 grams is an ounce. Okay, that's a whole, what we call an onion. That's an onion. All right, anything under 28 grams. So now I don't know, they might have upped it. I'm just giving you what I know from when it hit. In DC, Washington, DC, if you get arrested, you get pulled out your car. They take you downtown. They take you to whatever district. We call them districts. Like you even 4D, 5, 3, whatever, you know what I'm saying? 6, Alabama Ave, whatever, right? So they take you to the station. When they take you to the station, say you got like 15 grams of weed on you. That's a little over a half an ounce. You got your car keys, you got your wallet, blah, blah, blah. Your money on you. And mind you, the weed is not bagged up. That's another thing. Don't have it bagged up in individual baggies. They taking that. And they're going to take your money. But if you get locked up in, right now as we speak, if you get locked up in DC and they pull you out your car and you have weed on you under 28 grams, just basically under an ounce, you got your phone, your keys, everything, they're going to take you downtown. They're going to process you. Let's say you just get out that same night. Your peoples pay your bond or whatever. You see the magistrate, the commissioner, you get out. They give you back your phone, your weed, yes, and everything else, your wallet and everything else in DC. When you get locked up in DC, they give you your weed back when you get locked up. That's how free it is out here. You see, I don't know what state you in. So it does vary from state to state. So let's keep on listening.
So long to get more research for medical use? Well, the long and short of it is, you can't really research something if the government says it has no medical benefits. They just don't give out funding for it. However, as more and more patients come up with their own anecdotal stories and research, and as drug companies in other countries start to work with it, you are slowly seeing things change. For instance, the U.S. patent number 6630507, granted in 2013 to the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, covers the potential use of non-psychoactive cannabinoids to protect the brain from damage or degeneration caused by certain diseases. Things that make you go, why would the U.S. Department of Health be granted such a patent if, again, there's no medical benefits?
That's because they've always known that there have been medical benefits. That's never been the question. For the longest time, they've been given marijuana. They've been getting chronic to cancer patients after chemo. A lot of us know about this. If you're old enough, you know. They've been doing that. What it is that the government was trying to figure out, it's too easy for them to grow and do their own thing with this. How can we get our hands on this like Uncle Burns? Like Mr. Burns from the Simpsons, from the Simpsons. How can we get our hands on this? That's all it's been. All these years, people getting locked up, what? Just because you had a joint on? You know how many times I'm serious. I mean, I'm not embarrassed to say that. Like, it is what it is. You know how many times I got locked up and I'm in there for like 2-3 weeks, 30 days, whatever, get out. You know what I'm saying? And they usually throw this shit out. And that was the part that used to blow me. It's like, dog, y'all just took my freedom away. I possibly lost my job, whatever it may be, was away from my family, everything else. Just point blank lost my freedom just for y'all to throw it out. I don't even go into the courtroom. They keep me goddamn down there in the bullpen. It's called the bullpen where they keep all of us at. Keep you downstairs in the bullpen. Here come the sheriff cracking the door open. Smitty, right here. Here, man, sign right here. What? What's going on? Judge threw it out. What? Yeah, they threw it out. Now, of course, I'm happy to go home. Yes, I'm happy to go home. But I'm saying to myself, y'all kept me in here all this time for some shit that you wasn't even going to prosecute me for. It was some bullshit. It was a money grab. It was a money grab. And even to right now, to this day, it's still a money grab. That's all it is. Let's keep on rocking out. That's why the shit was illegal.
Very good question. Now, in the fiscal year of 2017, the NIH supported 330 research projects totaling almost $140 million on cannabinoid.
If you're a man who makes at least $150K a year and you feel
Nope. I've been a chef. The most I ever made was, I don't know, maybe about 78. That's the max. Now I think about 78, 79 was my max.
Is marijuana safe from a medical standpoint? The correct answer is still a bit up in the air, meaning since it isn't regulated, the dosage, the concentration, and plant varieties all play a key role in its safety. Scientists say more long-term research is needed, just like any other drug that's on the market. Scientists are concerned about the effects it might have on young people using it as their brains are still developing. However, that being said, if you look at the different studies out of Israel with Dr. Meshulam's research with it and its treatment of Alzheimer's patients and different epilepsy benefits, or with Dr. Manuel Guzman out of Spain with research regarding cannabis and glioblastoma brain tumors, it certainly seems that cannabis advancements in medicine might be right around the corner. FDA, or the Federal Drug Administration, has not approved the cannabis plant for any medical use, but it has approved several drugs that contain individual cannabinoids. Marinol and Syndros, which contain dronabinol or synthetic THC, and Sesamet, which contains nabilone, a synthetic substance similar to THC, are approved by the FDA to treat nausea and vomiting caused by chemotherapy.
After my accident, although I haven't done it this year. So I'm just being, that's a seasonal thing. I haven't done it this year because of where I live. It's a seasonal thing. Out here in the DMV area, it's not always warm. So I have to do it seasonally. But my point is that I was given a marijuana card because of my accident. And the thing is, they had me on strong pain medications. And it made me very nauseated. I'm not used to that. Like, I don't do pills. I'm one of them, like, it has to be really bad for me to like take a Tylenol or something. Like, I'm one of them. I don't like pills. I'm not a pill person, right? Unless it's absolutely necessary. And let's just say, losing a limb, it's definitely necessary to take some pain pills at a certain period of that. And when I tell you, I had to get it in. When I'm talking about like hitting a J, oh man, I had to get it in because I was not able to sleep and my appetite. That was like, honestly, like, to be real with you, like, even when y'all see me smoke like now and everything, majority, like at 43, the majority of the reason why I smoke is really, of course, because I get some goods. I get that good. So like, I do feel it. I feel it. But I don't get it for the reasons I used to get weed. In my younger days, I used to get marijuana because I wanted to actually get high. I just wanted to get high and feel creative, take my mind off of some stuff. Nah, I'm more settled now. No, I actually take it just so I can honestly sleep because of like phantom pains and things. So I can sleep and eat. My appetite. I primarily like I'll go ahead and make sure I get it in. And like, I actually have it set to where like it's specific times of the day. Like, I'll go ahead out what we call wake and bake. I'll do a wake and bake. Reason being I do my wake and bake is because I've never been a breakfast person. If I do a wake and bake, then by the time I'm ready to eat, like that 11:30-ish going on noon, it's usually around then. You know what I'm saying? I'm hungry. I'm ready. You see what I'm saying? That went on ahead and opened my stomach up. And you know what's crazy? We're going to get into that topic as well. Trust me, we're going to go down a whole list of weed today, right? But that's definitely the piece I wanted to throw in there. And with that being said, I digress. My mic is muted. The time right now is 11:01 p.m. East Coast Standard Time. And I thank you all so much for tuning in. Let's finish out this video.
Dronabinol is also used to treat the loss of appetite, weight loss in people with HIV or AIDS. Medical marijuana received a lot of attention a few years ago when parents said that a specific form of the drug helped control seizures in their children. The FDA recently approved Epidiolex, which is made from CBD, as a therapy for people with very severe or hard to treat seizures.
Facts. I don't know if you guys remember, there was a very controversial story about a child who actually, I think because of the state they lived in, they were trying to advocate that giving the kid marijuana, because they were trying to take the kid from the mother, saying you're giving your child drugs, and she's saying no, like I'm giving him this weed because, and he wasn't smoking it, of course he was like, ingesting it, some kind of edible, but he had it in his system. And when I guess somehow or another the state found out, they were trying to take the kid from the mother, and it was a big story about that. I actually remember that. And they were trying to take the kid because they said you gave your kid drug, and she said no, I mean he suffers from epilepsy, and my child has seizures. That's absolutely, I actually heard a story about that. Let's keep on rocking out.
In studies, some people have had dramatic drop in seizures after taking this medication. Some research suggests cannabinoids can also reduce anxiety, reduce inflammation and relieve pain, control nausea and vomiting caused by cancer chemotherapy, kill cancer cells and slow tumor growth, relax tight muscles in people with multiple sclerosis, stimulate appetite and improve weight gain in people with cancer and AIDS/HIV, Alzheimer's disease, Crohn's disease, epilepsy, glaucoma, mental health conditions like schizophrenia.
Dang, I forgot about the glaucoma. You remember back in the day when like the only time, remember that? Remember back in the day, the only time you could have some weed is if you had glaucoma. That was the only thing we knew that you can have it for. And I think outside of that, I would say cancer patients. Shout out to them.
Schizophrenia and PTSD or post-traumatic stress disorder. Talk to your doctor openly about it. Together, you can make a shared, well-informed decision. Remember, always be safe with an unknown substance. Do not use cannabis or cannabinoids to postpone seeing a healthcare provider about a medical problem you have.
Thank you, Dave. I don't know why. I don't know. Don't leave me alone. Don't judge me. He looks like a Dave. He looks like a Dave. All right, y'all, let's go ahead. What's the next topic we got? So now we're going to move forward, right? Now let's go ahead and let's take the time and let's talk about the difference between, what is this I have written down? Oh, the difference between actual THC and CBD, right? So a lot of you guys know about CBD, and CBD gets you high. Does it? I don't know. I don't do CBD. I do THC, right? I've had CBD, but I don't know. It's just not my thing. So let's go ahead and let's take time and look at the difference. But let's go ahead and take time and look at the difference between the two. All right. Which one am I going to do? I'm going to go with this one right here. I'm going to go with this one because now I just, because I have a backup video. So I just wanted to make sure, but we're going to go ahead and look at what is the difference. Now, which one do you actually prefer? I don't know. If you out there listening, you can type it in the comment section afterwards on the replay. Shout out to you. Or you can type it in right now and you can go ahead and tell me what you think. But which one do you prefer if you do consume between THC and CBD? But with that being said, I digress. My mic is muted. Nancy, I appreciate you.
Such a chemically complex and controversial little plant. It has all sorts of social and historical connotations that basically revolve around getting high. But marijuana doesn't have to get you high. There is a compound in weed that has documented benefits for medical patients without the stoned feeling, CBD. While THC is the popular compound in the marijuana plant, cannabidiol, or CBD, is THC's non-hallucinogenic buddy, the yin to the yang. The high people get from weed is caused by a specific and well-known compound in the plant, THC, delta-9 tetrahydrocannabinol.
You see that? So all of this THC. What you need to know what all of this stuff is now. Tetrahydrocannabinol, THC, tetrahydrocannabinol. I don't know what an H is in this. Oh, tetrahydro. Got it. Cannabinol. Get it. THC. Okay. All right. That's where we are. I personally prefer the THC because of the benefits that it does for my body when it comes to sleep and appetite. Let's keep on going.
Its brother CBD doesn't possess any of the mind-altering, mood-changing properties that THC does, and thus it gets a lot less attention. Many recreational users want the high, but people who have cancer maybe don't. Many people want to get the benefits of medical marijuana, but they also want to be able to go about their day and not be locked on their couch. To understand these CBD-specific benefits, we also have to understand how cannabis in general works in the brain. A marijuana plant contains over 60 different chemical compounds called cannabinoids that act on the body's endocannabinoid system. This system modulates all sorts of mind-body functions. For example, if you're in pain, it keeps your body from going haywire. This is called downregulation. It downregulates stress-related signals that lead to inflammation and pain.
Absolutely. There have been a few times where, believe it or not, I sparked a J and it did assist. It didn't completely get rid of, but it did ease phantom pain. Yes, I went through phantom pain and, my leg get to jumping. Like, it's like a throb. It's a weird throb. It's like a throb / you hit your funny bone. It's like a combination of the two. And believe it or not, cannabis does actually soothe that. Let's keep going.
Also works in your immune system and elsewhere in the body. There are two main receptors that these cannabinoids bind to, conveniently named CB1 and CB2. When a cannabinoid like THC hits the body, it acts on the CB1 receptor, and it affects memory, concentration, and coordination. It gets you high. When a cannabinoid like CBD hits the body, it doesn't act on CB receptors, but hits other pain receptors that affect pain, perception, anxiety, inflammation, and so on. Thus, it doesn't get you high. THC and CBD both have similar chemical makeups, but different structures, which is why scientists suspect they act differently in the brain. So of all these promising applications, CBD is most famous for its potential to treat pediatric epilepsy, or more importantly, the seizures that are inherent to children with epilepsy. To put it simply, a seizure happens when the brain's electricity spikes and the brain circuitry freezes. One parent described their son's seizures like an overtaxed electrical grid. Researchers haven't fully identified the mechanisms underlying CBD's capabilities to reduce these seizures, but scientists think that CBD may improve the function of the endocannabinoid system somehow. Then it can regulate the central nervous system better and protect against convulsive activity. Evidence of CBD's benefits for pediatric epilepsy have thus far been largely anecdotal until now. A recent study published in the New England Journal of Medicine found that children with a complex form of epilepsy who took CBD saw a 23% greater reduction in convulsive seizures than those who were taking a placebo. Researchers used a double-blind, placebo-controlled trial for this, which is the gold standard for trials. It's a pretty big deal for the future of CBD as medicine. There's a lot we still need to figure out about CBD, but more research is hard to do. At the end of 2016, CBD was declared a Schedule I drug, in part because THC and CBD are in the same plant. The DEA says it's easier to keep track of CBD if it's regulated in this way.
So basically, what's taking place is that two different chemicals are being extracted from the same source. And they've actually been able to differentiate how these two different chemical components actually work with the body. And because one is connected to the other because of the source in which it comes from, that's why they went on ahead and made it a Schedule I. Now that's crazy, but let's keep going.
But after recent studies, we're starting to see medicinal benefits of CBD. And Schedule 1ing a drug stymies research because scientists have to go through an incredible amount of bureaucratic hoop jumping to get access to it. At this point, scientists still have to prove that it's safe and well tolerated, with a set dosage and known list of side effects. Hopefully, the scientific process will continue to run its course, even with these limitations. Special thanks to our sponsor for this episode.
All right. So you see where we are with that one? Like, listen, when we think about the history of marijuana, when we think about how long has it been, right? If we go back to, like, it was once legal. I had no clue of that. I thought it was always illegal. I know about alcohol being legal, illegal, then legal again. But I thought it was just like a one way and then it shift one day with marijuana. But what we're going to do right now is we're going to go ahead. We're going to keep this party rocking and rolling. So the very next thing that we have is this. You know what? Let's do this. Because I want to hear some of what this woman was saying. She actually had a very, very good breakdown on a lot of this. So let's go ahead and listen to, because she actually grows it. Again, we're going to inch our way through this whole thing, right? So she's going to go ahead and break down to us exactly what it is that was just spoken to us about. But what she's going to do is tell us about how she grows it and how all of this goes. Let's go ahead and see what we got.
We have a whole field of beautiful hemp plants, and these hemp plants create what is known as cannabinoids. There are over 100 cannabinoids that can be found within the cannabis plant. Cannabinoids can be found in other plants. They're found in cacao, so that's why when we eat dark chocolate, we feel great. But cannabis is definitely the plant that can produce the highest levels of cannabinoids. There are cannabinoids that I'm sure you are familiar with, such as THC, CBD, and some lesser known ones like CBG and CBN. These are all acronyms. THC stands for tetrahydrocannabinol, CBD for cannabidiol, but these are all compounds that are found within the plants, and our bodies actually interact with these compounds. Why are we having these reactions to them? It's all because of this system called the endocannabinoid system.
The endocannabinoid system, it's a homeostasis controlling system, basically is our physiology and how we keep ourselves in balance. We have a variety of endocannabinoid receptors, mostly CB1 and CB2, and they're located throughout the body. CB1 receptors are mostly in the central nervous system and parts of the brain. CB2 receptors are mostly in the peripheral part of the body, in the skeletal system, in the GI tract, and the spleen, and the testes, and the ovaries, and they control a number of other processes. We do make our own endocannabinoids that play a role in the things like mood and appetite and emotion and digestion and inflammation and immunity. But we could also tune up some of that homeostasis if we're lacking it by use of phytocannabinoids, phyto meaning plant. So we have plant-based cannabinoids, which we all know as marijuana.
Oh, my bad. I just wanted to throw in that little slight extra piece of what all of that consists of. Now, the next topic that we have that we're going to go ahead and just shift right on into is, why was it illegal? Did you ever think about that? To anybody who's ever been, arrested for it, so on and so forth. Now let's go ahead and let's go down the history as to why it was actually illegal. What were your thoughts on as to why it was illegal? Now, I spoke about a lot of it before, right? But I want to go ahead and go down the line of this. And let's listen to what the professionals say. All right. And with that being said, I digress. My mic is muted. Let's rock.
The marijuana revolution could very easily change the country, but there's a lot standing in the way. To understand why the status of pot is so contested, we need to trace the long, strange trip showing how cannabis became America's most controversial and lucrative plant.
Marijuana in the United States go hand in hand. Our founding fathers, Thomas Jefferson, George Washington, and a number of others grew what was called Indian hemp.
George Washington had over 100 hemp plants at Mount Vernon.
The hemp grown by our first American presidents was an industrial cash crop, perfect for making strong fiber that could be used for rope, sails, clothing, even paper, but not for smoking.
The plants that you use to make the rope and the fiber have low THC levels and they don't get people high.
While some early Americans made a fortune cultivating cannabis for industrial use, others began making big profits selling it as medicine.
Cannabis was a major ingredient in medicines that were recommended for use in insomnia, menstrual cramps, nausea, muscle spasms, depression.
But it wasn't until the 20th century that pot gained momentum as a recreational drug in America.
Essentially, it was this drug of the subculture. It was a drug that was popular among jazz musicians. It was a drug that was used by Mexican immigrants in the American Southwest.
Those against the drug used pot's association with both groups to frighten mainstream America.
The first thing that they did, which is very important, is that they changed the name to marijuana. They made it sound like a Spanish word so that people would start thinking about the Mexican migrant workers and the black jazz musicians who are smoking this plant, and oh, they're going to rape your white women, and we have to make this illegal.
The backlash grew during the Great Depression, and in the mid-1930s, states looked to the federal government to stop the drug from spreading.
The first drug czar, a guy named Harry J. Anslinger, totally vilified marijuana.
95% of all addiction is caused by bad association.
Concern about its use even led the government to fund the 1936 anti-marijuana film, Reefer Madness.
Hey, stop playing with me. I'm going to look this up. There was a 19 called Reefer Madness. I gotta look this up.
It was designed to terrify you into never imagining trying marijuana, because if you did, one time could turn you into a drug addicted.
Hold on, man. Hold on. Run it back.
Concern about its use even led the government to fund the 1936 anti-marijuana film, Reefer Madness.
It was designed to terrify you into never imagining trying marijuana, because if you did, one time could turn you into a drug addicted zombie.
The campaign against the so-called evil weed.
But alcohol can't. So hold on. You ain't seen people doing stuff like that off a drink? I don't understand. All right, let's leave it alone. Come on.
Culminated in Congress passing the Marijuana Tax Act in 1937, which essentially prohibited the sale and use of cannabis throughout America. The efforts helped keep pot's popularity underground, where marijuana remained popular among artists, musicians, and poets.
Marijuana came out of the beat generation in jazz in the 1950s. And then they sort of brought it into the counterculture and the emerging hippie scene.
The avant-garde who had been smoking marijuana as part of their lifestyle. They were the leaders of the anti-war movement.
As the Vietnam War divided America, smoking marijuana was now seen as a political act.
Marijuana should be made legal now!
Many in the conservative chain of command believed that to quash the anti-war protesters, you had to go after their drug of choice.
Drugs are alarmingly on the increase in use among our young people. This is a national problem. It requires an urgent action on the part of the federal government.
In 1970, President Richard Nixon got Congress to pass a new drug law that identified pot as a menace to public health.
Nixon administration placed marijuana in Schedule 1 with heroin and LSD and a whole bunch of other.
Yep. How do you put marijuana in the same category as heroin and LSD?
Really dangerous, addictive drugs.
But notice he did not say cocaine. I want you to notice that. Peep game.
If Nixon launched the war on drugs, it was Ronald Reagan who picked up the torch and ran with it a decade later.
I remember that movie from the class. From the health class. Okay. Wow. You had health class in 6th grade? Wow. Okay. They showed Ups or Us. I think you mean Us. Okay, yeah. They showed us movies of what happened. Really? Okay. I was thinking that he was just trying to shut down Woodstock.
Appointing his wife Nancy as spokesperson, her message was clear.
Just say no.
Just say no. That's right. Just say no to any and everything except that. Now, but let's be for real though, on some real talk. Like, we all know why they've been going so hard on that for the longest, right? But what I want to talk about, we getting to it. Yeah, let's go ahead and do it. So right now, I got this. See that? You see that? I keep one of these. I got like 4 of these around the house. That's right. I got like 4 of these around the house. Hold on, let me put it up. I keep that. Okay. You see that? All right. Now we're going to get into why we're really here. It ain't really why we really here. Now I'm just messing around because I feel nice and high and I feel good because I smoked it and I didn't eat it. Okay. Let's go ahead and talk about the next topic that we have. All right. Now, as we go down the line on this 420, I'm pretty sure at this point, if you haven't already gotten yourself something on your little stomach stump, right? We all know somehow or another weed brings about the munchies. Man, what is it about that? Let's go ahead and see what we got. Now, I ain't gonna lie. Old Mr. Miyagi on this bad boy had me rolling. Look, all I'm gonna say is when he got up and said, "I'm hungry," it's just the way he said it. Let's go ahead and get down to this bad boy. The time right now was 11:24 p.m. East Coast Standard Time, and I thank you all for tuning in. Let's keep on smoking good. Let's go ahead and look at what we got. Nancy, if you would be so kind as to give me a full screen and pull it up. Thank you, Nancy. Much respected. Everybody real quick, because she has been absolutely awesome and on point. Let's give it up for Nancy. Let me just go ahead with my high self. Don't mind me before I push play on this video. I just want to go ahead and just let her know my sentiment. Okay. All right. Nancy, are you there?
Hey, I'm here. I'm all ears. What's on your mind?
Nancy, I just wanted to let you know that you've been really kicking ass tonight. And you've been doing an awesome job. And I just want to let you know that I appreciate you, Nancy. Thank you for all that you do.
Oh, Oh, that means so much. Thank you. I really appreciate you saying that. I'm really glad I can help. So if there's anything else you need or just want to bounce ideas off me, I'm here.
Nope. Shut up. All right. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. All right, y'all. Let's go ahead and get back to it. Boom. Let's go ahead and listen to this video. And with that being said, I digress. My mic is muted. The time right now is 11:26 p.m. East Coast Standard Time. And I thank you all so much for tuning in. Let's watch. What is it about smoking weed that gives us the munchies?
The munchies are caused by activation of the brain circuits that are involved in eating.
Facts. That's Mr. Miyagi. Mr. Miyagi likes the bowl. Watch how my man get up and he want to eat, though. Watch how he get up and want to eat.
The munchies are caused by activation of the brain circuits that are involved in eating. I'm hungry. Now, to some extent, the gut's involved in that, but most of the munchies are in the head, if you will. And they're stimulating you to crave food, because that's what the cannabinoid system's involved with.
Because you're almost tricking the brain into thinking that the body has been food deprived or fasted for a period in time, and so now it wants to consume calorie-dense food to restore that energy that's been lost. And calorie-dense food comes in the form of sweet, tasty, fatty foods.
Ain't that something? So you telling me right now that my body, hold on, wait a minute, sir. So you telling me right now my body does not really want all of this? You telling me my body doesn't want to devour this entire bowl, although I do? You're telling me that the weed was playing tricks on my mind? My mind's playing tricks on me. This is a Warren G song right now. I already had dinner. So, at this point, I kind of want dessert. I don't understand. You're really telling me that the weed was tricking my brain. Let's take that back just a little bit. And let's listen one more again for the win before we get up out of chair. Let's do it.
The munchies are in the head, if you will. And they're stimulating you to crave food, because that's what the cannabinoid system's involved with.
Because you're almost tricking the brain into thinking that the body has been food deprived or fasted for a period in time, and so now it wants to consume calorie-dense food to restore that energy that's been lost. And calorie-dense food comes in the form of sweet, tasty, fatty foods.
Cannabis has a dramatic impact on appetite, and it promises to do much more. Many people believe that THC in cannabis helps reduce nausea.
I actually gained weight during chemo, which was something that's not heard of. The THC in the edibles and the THC in the flower allowed me to put on some weight.
Hold on. Look at what the government is doing that they used to lock us up for. Look at what they're doing that they used to lock us up for. That's crazy.
Cannabis is better than most of the currently used drugs at being anti-nauseating or an anti-nausea medication.
I don't think, had I not had that, I would have been able to get...
I shit you not. I actually had to tell my doctor. I actually did. I actually told my doctor, I was like, these other medications are really messing with my stomach. And I'm being honest, I'm like, yo, I don't like it. It's messing with my stomach too much. I'm being real with you, being honest with you, doc. Because I'm used to the days of it's so taboo, right? It's so you just don't do that. I'm not used to it's very much so accepted. Man, I just leaned back in my chair and I said, hey, doc, I'm gonna be real with you. Look, I need to roll me a J in the morning, and I need one at least before I go to bed at night, bare minimum. Man, that doctor looked at me and said, okay, well, you know what your body needs. I said, yeah, I got this all of a sudden big build of courage. I said, yeah, you know what? I do know what my body needs. Nah, real talk though. It definitely works with the nauseating. It does. It works with nauseating, and it works with getting some sleep, and it also works with anxiety. It is absolutely phenomenal when it comes to that. You don't have to smoke it. You can, you can ingest it as well. It works. It just takes longer, just like we listened to earlier. If you didn't hear it, go back and listen to the replay.
Through that one really horrible treatment.
I use cannabis for my nausea because I've tried all kinds of prescription medication my doctors have given me over the years. I've tried essential oils. I've tried everything I can think of, and nothing really seems to do what I needed to do without the side effect.
Facts. Absolute facts. Absolute facts. Now what we're going to do, hold on. Now what we're going to do, now what we're going to do, we're going to recognize how serious it is when it comes to weed and when it comes to like truly, you know what I'm saying, how you actually know that it is for a lot of different ailments. All right, so let's go ahead and let's take a look at this real quizzic. You know what I'm saying? Before we go ahead and have ourselves a good night. So let's go ahead and do it. Respect to the family. And with that being said, I digress. My mic is muted. It's 420, baby. Let's go ahead and keep it going.
Customers from all over New York.
No, not that too.
We even stole a few from Samson.
Oh, what's up, nigga? Come on in, man. Come on, weed, man. Thanks, baby. Get on. Beat it, Ogie. You scaring.
Yeah. Hey, sir, smoke a lot. What can I get you today? Smoke a lot.
Love weed. Let me get a pound of your sweetest chiba.
Damn. Yes, something told me to bring a lot of weed, man. Oh, shit. Pound of my sweetest chiba. Don't get no better than that.
Smells in the bag, baby.
That's gonna be $9,600, bro.
See what I got here.
That was the old school prices.
Come on, man. Hang out for a minute, smoke with me. I got weed, got my bong out. Come on, son.
For you, man. I'll stay for a minute, but then I gotta be going.
I understand.
Man, Smoke a Lot opened up to me like I was Barbara Walters. It was ridiculous. He told me about his lawyer.
He had sex with my mama. Why?
His spirituality.
God, if you listen, hell.
His bad back.
Doctor said I need a backiotomy.
His love life.
I'm in for this, man. Get away from me, bitch.
I mean, talk about a guy with problems. Tough break.
I can't take it too far.
No wonder he smoked a pound of weed. So now we had a famous clientele, and
Green eyes gonna miss you.
and guess what else? Call me next week about weed.
Wow. Yes, sir. And with that being said, I digress. My mic is muted. Much respect to the family. You all have yourself an awesome evening. Let's go ahead and rock out to these daggone tunes. Let's get it. Respect.
We fly high like dragons in the sky. Go, go, go.
It's the main event.
We fly high like satellites. Come fly with me like the wind beneath your wings.
This elevation to the max, give me space. I'm in space, this calm, this is cool mix. And it's safe. Let's be real, keep it going, keep it fly. Let's get high off the life.
We fly high like dragons in the sky. Go, 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 go. We fly high like satellites. Come fly with me like the wind beneath your wing. Now let's let the choir sing. Now let's let the choir sing. Oh.
Now let's let the choir sing.
Now if you and your legend shoot this up to 10, the airways belong to Disciple and the war chief Lynn. First digest the heat from my toaster. Blast, cotton can last on your block about the class.
Yeah, digging on the Sheba, tapping on the Sheba, singing they want sunset, cotton you want nuts and the ass whipping, and feel it when it kick in. Never juggle satin, coolie coda can't blow, coolie how is how I pump. When the convincers in my clutch, your murder one sung it then hush.
The
Hollywood.
awakening, how much notes are we raking in? The more we vision, you ain't fit for this division. So put the splits on it. Tell your Foxy put her lips on it. It's murder one when the
I'm
stone's
trying
on
to
it.
tell you now, the copper here from the 3 o'clock and a something terrible that happened when you fall shatting. No counterfeit, never dug the sound of it low. Cold toss the out, razor candy cut what? Low sugar streets where the hustle crossing cats meet. My kin looking like Flint about to boogie
Inside
in.
Sheba sugar walls trying to landscape pleasure. I face the north in the north face bubble feather. Stone tribe jungle life diamond crook campus destined for Sugar City and we copping Willie Snippers.
I digress. My mic is muted.
My mic is muted.